And welcome to Healing with Leticia, the podcast. Thank you for joining me today. For those of you that have taken some time to listen to episode 1, which was very short, this is now technically episode number 2. And I originally recorded last week? It might have been last week. And I didn't feel like it was as authentic as what I would have wanted it to be. So I actually thought about it, I was pondering, and I actually decided to just delete it. And I'm now recording something that feels more authentic. And I actually made some notes here, so hang in there as I get through these notes because I did want to make sure that I included everything about myself that I think is important and relevant for you to get to know me as a human being, and what is important to me, which will be, very connected to this podcast as I continue to share more and more information about my experiences, with what's important to me, what are my passions and things like that. So, and I'm about to be sharing with you right now that I do have OCD. So this is why lists are probably important to me, and being structured and probably some perfectionism that creeps in there. But I am going to be trying to challenge all of this with this podcast. So hang in there and I will share a little bit more about that. So I believe that this podcast is going to be named Who Am I? So this is what I have. So I'm going to be reading a little bit of my notes here, and I can expand on this more, if needed in another episode. But these are key points and, just some important things about me that I think you should know. So I am a California licensed therapist, as well as a master Reiki practitioner. I am located in Southern California, and I've been raised here since about 5 years old or so. But I was born in Limestone, Maine. My father was in the Air Force at that time. He actually met my mother in Spain. So they got married, moved to Texas, and then we relocated to California. And that's where I was raised, or I have been raised for all of my life, basically. I am of Hispanic, Spanish, and Native American descent. I am bilingual, so I can speak Spanish. I am the oldest. And I have only one sibling, so I am 5 years older. So I'm like thinking, how old am I? I'm 37. So I am neurodivergent. So that just means that is a neurological difference in the brain. In my case, OCD is genetic. So I do have at least one parent, although, I don't know who's going to listen to this in the future, but I believe that both of them probably have OCD. And I also have CPTSD, so complex PTSD trauma, especially around romantic relationships. So this also, you probably have heard of it as ROCD, so relationship OCD. So this affects me specifically around romantic relationships, which, just anxiety related to connection, and, obviously trauma is probably a big part in there, which is something that I'll get into in the future. And I am really practicing here to be transparent. So I am trying to be raw, transparent, and vulnerable, which is also a big goal and motivation with having this podcast, because I do think that the more vulnerable and open that we are, the more that it allows for us to heal and to be our authentic self. So this is why I am sharing some of these things with you. That are important for you to understand me as a person and just an overall human being. Let's see. So I was licensed in 2019 in California, and I still am working actively as a therapist. I started off working with children and families, and right now I only work with adults, so 18 and over. That is my niche that I feel most passionate working with. Although, don't get me wrong, I used to love working with children and families, but that just wasn't my passion or my area that I really enjoyed as much. now leading to my passions. So here are some passions of mine that I will probably most likely talk about at some point in this podcast. So obviously mental health is a passion of mine, with working with so many people as well as managing my own, self-care, boundaries. I love learning about relationships, especially romantic ones, astrology, metaphysics, quantum physics, health and nutrition, divination and intuition. And, for me, I use tarot cards, but there are different ways for you to tap into your intuition, which for me is a big part of how I started to trust myself as an individual. And, bad experiences sometimes makes you question whether you can trust your intuition and, if a person is trustworthy and things like that. So that was a big part of my healing journey, which I definitely want to include in here somewhere along the way. And then Reiki is another huge part of my healing journey. Then obviously this podcast is about healing, all things healing. So I am a master Reiki practitioner. I want to say that I was introduced to Reiki was it over a year ago now? Maybe 2 years? Might be a year and a half. I might be wrong about that, but somewhere around there. And Reiki found me. It is a Japanese healing technique, which I will get into more probably in its own episode, because that's just how important it is to me. And it's also helped so many clients that I work with as well. So let's see. So the podcast motivation. So this is what I have here. To share valuable life lessons and experiences from my own personal life, as well as what I have also learned from working with so many clients. My goal is to help others feel validated, supported, and not feel alone while they're on their own healing journey. Life can be hard, but it can be that much more difficult with the narrative and meaning that we attach to our experiences. I'd like to offer a different perspective and challenge beliefs that just hurt us rather than helping us expand and grow as individuals. I'd like this podcast to be a little free-flowing, which will also help challenge some of my OCD with having to be overly prepared and structured. I do want to remind everyone in this podcast, these are my own thoughts, beliefs, opinions, and experiences. So I just want to definitely make sure about that because, at some point or another, there might be something that you do hear that you don't align with, and that is totally okay. So, remember that these are my experiences. These are going to be lessons that I've went through or things I've picked up from clients, whether it be, patterns and themes that I believe are worth mentioning. So I just want to make sure that, you don't feel like all of this has to be something that you believe in or, it's all or nothing. Because remember, sometimes we as individuals can think that something's all good or all bad, or, we forget the gray in the center. So that's possible too. So take what you align with and then leave what does not align with you. Let's see. So I'm not even sure how long this is right now, but I do want to say that I appreciate your time with listening to this podcast. If you've made it here to the second episode, I'm not sure what my next episode will be just yet. I think that I will probably have to kind of catch a groove here with how to structure these, not too structured, but somewhere, with a plan of some sorts of what topics to start with. But I definitely want the next episodes moving forward to just be more free flowing. So, just picking a topic of some sort and just kind of diving into it rather than, having to go off of notes and things like that. I believe that with this episode, I needed this because there was important information that I didn't want to miss that I thought was important for you to know about me as an individual. But I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here and joining me and listening to this podcast. I really do hope to catch you in the next episode. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope that you have something to do, something to look forward to, and someone that you can be around that makes you feel supported and makes you feel loved, because I do believe that we need connection, and these are things that we all need in order to thrive and, just to have life be more enjoyable. So I hope that you all take care, and I will catch you in my next episode. I am planning for not this Friday that's coming up, but the one that follows, because I will be out of state this week. So just wanted to let you all know in case you are expecting me to record next, or actually that would be this Friday. I'm all over the place. I'm actually leaving today to Portland, Oregon. So if you hear the laundry in the back, I hope that wasn't too distracting. But anyhow, it won't be this Friday for that reason, since I won't be back until this weekend sometime. But I will catch you in that other following Friday, whatever the date is for that. But thank you so much. Take care. And I hope to catch you in the next episode of Healing with Leticia. Take care. All right. And I'm out.